stress, anxiety, frustration, tears, tantrums, worry, anger, boring, hopelessness. Many of the parents and carers I work with use these words to describe their child's responses when they attempt to engage them in home learning. You may be familiar with some of them too. So why do children experience such negativity for what can sometimes be quite a simple task, even one you know they can do? And how can you help? We're going to look at 3 common emotional barriers, explore why they occur, and learn a strategy you can use to support your child overcome their negative mindsets. While we're considering all of this, it's helpful to try to think of the emotions as separate from the child. Perhaps even imagine them as a cartoon character, a being with its own personality. Let's start with fear and think about the children who dig their heels in and just won't even try. What makes the fear take over? Fear can overpower a child when they are afraid of getting something wrong, of not meeting expectations, of letting someone see how hard they're finding learning, or of being asked to do another task if they succeed. Because all the thinking and remembering is so exhausting, they are terrified of having to do even more. Some children refuse to engage because they've had previous learning experiences which have left them feeling bad, and it's less scary to avoid homework and have an argument with mum or dad than it is to revisit those horrible feelings. If this sounds like your child, you're probably keen to know how you can stop the fear from rearing its ugly head. Well, the truth is you can't. Our children will experience emotions that we want to protect them from, and we need to accept that in small doses this is okay and all part of normal child development. However, when the fear is to such an extent that it's frequently affecting your child from doing home learning, then there are ways you can support them to overcome this emotional barrier. Instead of focusing on how you can make all the fear go away, think about how you can start to replace just a few of the negative bricks with positive steps that will help your child climb over their fear. You do this by concentrating on building up an opposing positive emotion. The example on the slide is confidence. The more you can boost your child's confidence, even more so than you already do, the more effective their engagement and learning will be. And you don't have to limit this to the context of learning. Activities such as styling their own hair, posting a letter, or cooking a meal are all opportunities to emphasize how impressed you are with the way they did something or the decisions they made. The next emotion is frustration. Here we're thinking of the children who try but quickly get frustrated with themselves at the first mistake or hint of a challenge. So what makes the frustration burst out so easily? This happens when a child tries really hard but frequently gets answers wrong, when they put in the effort but can't finish as quickly as their friends, or when they like things to be perfect and set unrealistic expectations of themselves. Their experiences of learning often lack a sense of achievement, sometimes because the work is not set at an appropriate level. Children with specific learning difficulties, such as dyslexia, often experience frustration when learning. To start to knock out some bricks in the wall of frustration, an opposing positive emotion to work towards is satisfaction. For some children, the appeal of computer gaming is the fulfillment they get from completing the challenges within it. What opportunities and experiences can you create for your child where they can experience this same sense of satisfaction? What learning and day-to-day activities can you support your child with where they can quickly and easily finish what they set out to do? The third emotion we're going to look at is anxiety. Anxious children typically present as unsure of what they are doing and whether they'll be able to do it or not. They're willing to try, but spend so much time worrying about everything that by the time they get started, they're exhausted. Children with neurological differences, such as autism and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, often experience anxiety in relation to learning, especially if they're unclear about what is expected, how to complete a task, and whether it will feel easy or hard. If this sounds like your child, you can help to build steps for them to climb over the anxiety wall by focusing on creating experiences of calm. From mindfulness and meditation to sensory approaches, when your child uses a particular technique, you can point out how great they were at gaining control over their feelings and that it helped them to think more clearly.